Being very entitled and controlling, narcissists have no difficulty stepping all over your personal boundaries. So that's why I put together an extensive video class called This Is Me. It has 25 videos, written documents, guided questions. I'm going to teach you how to have healthy boundaries. There's a link below, and I hope you'll find it to be quite therapeutic. One of the marks of a truly healthy person is their authenticity. And when we say we have a sense of authenticity or genuineness, what we say is, or what we mean is, I want to make sure that how I portray myself on the outside is in fact a good representation of who I am on the inside. There's internal and external consistency. Narcissists want to give the impression of authenticity. They want to look good on the outside, but for them, it's just a cover for their nefarious schemes, keeping in mind that these are very selfish people. They're constantly looking for an angle to get their cravings and their desires met, and if it's at someone else's expense, who cares? They actually have a real attitude of entitlement and superiority, and that leads them to thinking, I'm not all that tuned into your feelings, but they've determined, but if I can give the impression that I'm a really good person, that gets me somewhere. And so one of the things, or the descriptors we can say about narcissists is they'll say, if you just look good, then that's all that matters. And then behind the scenes, I'm just going to be whatever I need to be. You just don't need to know about that. In the process of maintaining this persona of looking good without being good, there's something that narcissists simply will not focus on. It just doesn't register with them at all. And that's the characteristic of your essence. You understand what I mean when I say essence? It comes from the Latin root word that means being. And essence is your inner character. It's the fundamentals that define you. It's your core values. It's what you are intrinsically, and you just don't want to be anything other than that. Your essence is the guiding force that's on the inside of you that determines your moral compass. It determines your ethics and your decency with other individuals. And narcissists is like, that doesn't describe my essence. Their essence is entirely of another nature. They're deeply committed to their false portrayal of themselves. And so if they can just give an appearance to them, that's close enough. And in fact, if you try to get to know their essence, it's like, you don't need to go inside that space. I don't want to talk about it. That's not something that's important to me. Down at the base of who they are, unfortunately, there's a lot of rotten characteristics. There's a lot of dysfunction that they just simply want to cover up. Now, there are multiple tools that narcissists will use to create the impression that they're good, when in fact they're not really all that good from the inside out. And I'm going to run through multiples of these, okay? And the more you're able to see this, and the more it's like, now I realize what I'm dealing with, because these folks are ultimate gaslighters. They want to give they want to create confusion in you while they control the narrative. So we're on to that, all right? Now, one of the first things we're going to say about that person who wants to look good without actually being good is these people are quite willing to use false flattery. Try to recall times when that person was very friendly, or they give you compliments. It's like, wow, this person's really into me. But in fact, over time, you realize, well, that was just a ploy to pull you in and to make you think that you're in the presence of a really nice person. When in fact, it's like, if I have to do that, I can lie. I can say whatever I need to. They're not going to know anything, for at least not for right now. False flattery is an extremely common tool that they will use with you. Another indicator of this looks good without being good is these people tend to be fair weather friends only. It's easy to be buddies and pal around with individuals when you're having fun, or when everything is going right, or you're coordinated in a project, something like that. But how about when there's struggles or troubles that come along? A true friend is going to show up and say, "How may I assist you?" And they actually mean it. The narcissist is like, no, I'm along for the good times. Forget all that other stuff. They're not going to show up when you really need a friend the most. Now, another indicator of this false goodness is they like to get close to you quickly. Typically, relationships require time to unfold so that you can get to know each other's nuances and backstory, etc. But narcissists are very hungry. They need not just affirmation, but admiration. And so they'll say and do all sorts of things to make you their new best friend forever kind of person. They move too quickly with trying to pull people into their inner circles and their inner confidence. Now, another indicator that this is a false good person is these individuals are prone towards what we call humble bragging. They want you to think that they're the really nice person, but instead of saying, hey, you need to know how terrific I am, it's like, well, I'm not going to tell anybody else, but earlier today I helped a little old lady across the street, or I've given money to these people, or I've done these things that nobody else knows about. It gives me so much feeling of gratitude on the inside. It's kind of like, did that impress you? And so they say these things, giving the impression like, wow, this is a nice person. But it's like, no, it's just a ploy. They just don't want you to hear about any dirt. They want you to hear nothing but the wonderful things about who they are. Now, there's another indicator, and I put my own little terminology on this. It's what I refer to as the over syndrome. These people will over smile. They're over helpful, they're over giving, they're over friendly. Get an idea of what I'm talking about? When somebody comes along and it's almost as though they're too good to be true, it's because it probably is. But narcissists, in their zeal to create this false impression, they can just go straight into all of that and you think, wow, what a nice person. And they're over there thinking, it's working. I'm getting my inroad. Or another thing these individuals will do, they like to sidle right up next to those who are advantaged. In other words, if you're a decision maker, if you're someone who's quite popular, or you're someone that can get them something they want, it's like, hello, good friend, you're just the person I was looking for. And they like to take advantage of somebody else's position of means or capability, and then ride on the coattails of that. Now, in addition, you know that narcissists tend to have an easy bent towards being critical. So these good but not good narcissists, well, they can't stop themselves from being critical, but what they'll do is they'll disguise their criticism as statements of concern. Well, this person over here, they keep losing money, or they just seem to have such a difficult time getting along with people, or that individual over there, I want them to be happy, but they're always in a bad mood. And so they'll say things and try to make themselves sound like they're concerned, but no, they're just putting people down, hoping you're going to remember that. And of course, the next part of it is, unlike me, of course, I don't have any flaws like those idiots over there. That's how they think. Or, in addition, these good but not good narcissists, actually, you'll find that they're quite offended if you want to talk about problems or conflicts. The implication is, hey, we have an imperfection here, let's talk about it. And in their mind, it's like, I don't do imperfection. If there's an imperfection, it certainly isn't on my side of the equation. And so they don't really manage that well. They'll make the imperfection all about you, but in fact, they're convinced, no, I'm the standard bearer, so it can't be me. Do not confront me. And they're very defensive. Now, along with that, they're keepers of secrets. They tell lies easily. They cover up whatever might truly be wrong. It's like, you don't need to know that. They have a hidden dark side, but it's like, you're not going to find out about it. Of course, it'll show up eventually because they can't contain it forever. And then another thing that we can say about them is they often give advice and they forget to show understanding. Well, you need to do this, you need to do that. When in fact, it's like, well, have you understood what's going on inside of me before you just start telling me what to do? It's like, no, you just need me to tell you what to do. That's my helpfulness to you. Narcissists are all about the right appearance. They want to look good without being good. But then let's go back to that word essence. Their essence is not in the right place. In their essence, they think it's all about me and my agenda, and if I can just get you to comply, then I'm going to be great. In contrast, we can say that a truly good person has their sense of essence that's based on all sorts of healthy thoughts. Character is paramount with these individuals, healthy people. Trustworthiness and honesty is a part of how they engage with people. It's just because that's who they are. And then when conflicts show up, we're going to have a fairness. We're going to have an open-mindedness. There's a conscientiousness that they have. They show appreciation, and it's the real deal. It's not just a ploy to make themselves look good. They don't have a sense of entitlement. And when they are in an authority position, they approach their authority position with an attitude of humility. They celebrate others' interests, especially if it's not even their own interest. They still just like to know if something goes good with you, I'm glad for it. They're nurturing, and it's the real deal. They care about you and what happens. Listening is a well-developed skill. So I'm hoping that you're able to see beyond just the external veneer of a person as you're getting to know who they are, and that you can go inside and ask, what's the essence of this individual in front of me? And in order for you to be able to be skilled at that, you have to ask, well, what is my essence? And I'm hoping that's what you put your greatest focus on, because when you get to know somebody, eventually that's going to be shown. And, I start with the assumption anybody can look good for a while, but the mark of a true healthy individual is somebody that can sustain it, especially in moments where there are trying times and circumstances. That's when you're going to see what a person's really made of. Now, I hope that videos such as this can give you some good awareness of what you might be dealing with. Narcissists are the ultimate chameleons. They want to look good when in fact behind the scenes there's a whole different thing there. And I'm hoping that videos like this can help you spot that. If you've not already hit the subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. We'll keep more videos coming in your way. Gus slept through another one, didn't he? That's okay. If you have a need for therapy, and I know that many times when you're trying to make sense of all of this, it would be good to have somebody that could objectively walk you through some of the whys and how to manage this kind of thing, then I would encourage you to seek that. And I'm sponsored by the people at BetterHelp.com. We have a link below that would take you to a whole team of licensed professional therapists. If that's a need that you have, I would strongly encourage you to go in that direction. Obviously, I'm a huge proponent of that. I'm a therapist myself. I'm retired from that part, but please seek that. Likewise, I've also put together some courses that are of a therapeutic nature, multiple videos per course. It's like signing up for a class that you do at your own pace. Each video inside the course has written documents and guided questions. We have Ready, Set, Connect about making good connection skills. This is me about boundaries, free to be, finding yourself despite the controllers. We have my webinars. We have my Surviving Narcissism podcast. We have our website with many articles on there. We also have my books, lots of resources that you can avail yourself to. Narcissists want to look good, but it doesn't mean that they have the essence of a good person. Be patient as you're engaging with these people, and when you notice certain things that kind of raise a red flag, listen to yourself and know that from the inside out, they're a very different breed of people. I'm hoping your essence is genuinely decent and good and conscientious, because as you focus on that, that's what's going to lead you to good character, which will then result, I'm hoping, with you finding a real place of peace.